He wrestles like a bear and hits like a truck. And when you consider that he is an undefeated athlete with a 100% finishing rate, you are potentially looking at the next dominant UFC champion in the middleweight division. With 6 MMA bouts, as many wins and finishes, including 4 slick submissions and 2 brutal knockouts, Bo Nickal is a definition of a fighter who is not here to take prisoners. Once Bo wraps his hands around the opponents, they'd need a crowbar to shake him off. Trading shots with him on the feet is also a no-go, as the American packs one-punch knockout power that can send his adversaries to oblivion. So, the real question is there anyone in the UFC's middleweight division who can stop this wrestling powerhouse anytime soon? Or are we looking at the next champion who might stay at the top of the UFC's food chain for a long time? It's the perfect time to dive into Bo Nickal's career and discuss what lies ahead for this young prospect. To understand what makes Bo Nickal so fierce and dominant in MMA today, we must go back to his teenage years in the saga that started on the wrestling mats. After his junior year, Bo set his sights on wrestling for Pennsylvania State University, becoming a proud Nittany Lion. By the time he graduated from high school, he'd racked up an astounding record of 183 wins, with only 7 losses, including an eye-popping 131 pins. To top it all off, he was ranked as the nation's 9th best wrestler, pound for pound. Bo's college wrestling career only added to his legend. A 3-time NCAA Division I national champion, he reached the finals in 2016 and dominated the Big Ten Conference, taking the championship title 3 times while representing Penn State. When Nickal wrapped up his college wrestling journey, he wasted no time diving headfirst into freestyle wrestling, where he achieved even more impressive milestones. In 2019, he claimed the U23 World Champion title, showcasing his freestyle skills on the global stage. He also captured the U.S. Open National Champion title and nearly made it to the U.S. Olympic team, advancing to the finals at the 2020 U.S. Olympic Team Trials. Given the countless unforgettable matches in Bo's wrestling career, recounting them all would take longer than GSP's entire octagon time. So, let's dive into some of the most iconic bouts that solidified Bo's reputation as one of the best wrestlers on the continent. At the end of the 2016-2017 season, Nickal went head-to-head with Gabe Dean, a 2020 U.S. National Freestyle Wrestling Champion and 2-time NCAA Division I champion. In an intense back-and-forth contest, Bo edged Dean on points, clinching the 2017 NCAA championship. During this period, Nickal also met one of his fiercest rivals, someone who pushed him to his limits and helped shape him into the powerhouse he is today. On March 4th and 5th, 2017, Bo faced off against Miles Martin, an NCAA Division I national champion, a 4-time All-American, and a Big Ten Conference champion. Martin upset Bo's plans, defeating him in the semifinals and leaving Bo with bronze in the 2017 Big Ten Conference. But this rivalry was far from over. The two crossed paths again in 2018. After a victory over Martin on February 3, 2018, their ultimate showdown came on March 3rd and 4th, with the Big Ten Conference gold on the line. Bo came out on top, proving that revenge is indeed a dish best served cold. The debate over who was superior didn't last long, as Bo dominated Martin once again at the 2018 NCAA Championships, winning the match by fall. In 2019, Bo was unstoppable, especially in his bouts against Colin Moore, a 4-time NCAA Division I All-American and 3-time Big Ten Conference champion. On February 8, 2019, Bo pinned Moore, and just a month later, he decisively defeated him again at the 2019 Big Ten Conference Final at 197 pounds, earning another gold. The 2019 NCAA Championships continued the pattern, and Bo once again outclassed Moore in the final, securing yet another prestigious medal. Beyond wrestling tournaments, Nickal took his skills to the grappling mats, facing Gordon Ryan, a top-tier Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, widely regarded as one of the greatest no-gi grapplers of all time. The BJJ Lord offered Bo his back, and the wrestler seized the opportunity to issue Ryan a free ticket with the infamous Nickal Airways, reminding him not to underestimate a dominant wrestler. There was no shame in the result, as these were uncharted waters for Bo, and the outcome could have been very different if they were under wrestling rules. But in the end, it didn't even matter, as Nickal had a larger fish to fry on sight, which was entering into the world of MMA. Bo Nickal's entry into MMA was like throwing a shark into a fish tank. As an amateur, the American ran through his first two opponents with ease, showing that he was no stranger to combat. Roundhouse kick, hoping for decapitation, but Lady Luck gave Nolan a second chance. As if he was trying to prove a point, Bo wouldn't resort to wrestling, and he showed his intention in a firefight, and jumped out on the floor. While most people thought of him as a wrestler who can't throw a punch, Bo shocked the world by delivering a nasty knockout, making a statement that the MMA stage is his new home. This flawless performance got the big league's attention, and the heavy-hitting wrestler signed with Dana White's Contender Series. In his promotional debut, he was scheduled to face Zachary Borrego, an undefeated prospect determined to spoil Nickal's MMA run. Seconds into the fight, Bo made it apparent that he wasn't there to play around, as he dragged the adversary down faster than an anchor dropping to the ocean floor. Nickal reigned with punishment from the top and attempted to send Borrego to the gallows. However, the foe proved tougher than a $3 steak and survived the choke. Bo aborted the mission and took Borrego's back, turning into a human backpack. Like a python coiling around its prey, Nickal's grappling left no escape. He then locked in the submission like he had the key to his opponent's escape, giving him the option to tap or nap. The wrestler made it look easy, so the following month, the big boss decided to give Bo another fight against Donovan Beard, a dangerous finisher with a 6-1 record, who rarely leaves it to the judges' hands. The American wasted no time on the appetizers and went straight to the main course, delivering a rocket that dropped the adversary in an instant. Bo secured a full mount position and was setting a trap. Seconds later, Beard falls right into it. The wrestler secured an airtight triangle and started cutting off the oxygen supplies, forcing the foe to tap. The UFC matchmakers could not ignore such a talent, so they signed the wrestler to the organization. The heavy-hitting wrestler was welcomed to the big league by Jamie Pickett, a battle-tested vet with 10 years more MMA experience than Bo Nickal. Once Bo grabbed a hold of the opponent, he drew him into murky waters. The unlucky fella was forced to accept a battle on the enemy's territory and was now looking for a way out. As expected, the wrestler stuck to Jamie harder than a creep to an OnlyFans model. He inserted both hooks in and persistently demanded a tap. Pickett proved tougher than Bo had anticipated, so the American changed gears and went for an arm triangle choke. He adjusted himself to a better position and squeezed out the tap, sending a very clear message to every top contender in this division. This masterclass earned Nickal his first Performance of the Night bonus, an overture to a story he was eager to write in blood. Next on Bo's hit list was Val Woodburn, an undefeated slugger with a 6-0 record. Trading with dynamites on the feet with someone like Woodburn could be as dangerous as playing Russian roulette. Try telling that to Bo. The American decided to go out there without a bulletproof vest and a helmet, and out of nowhere he unleashed a ballistic missile that wobbled the opponent badly. He then went on the offensive with ill intent, making the cage small for two. Bo Nickal could have utilized his wrestling to subdue the opponent, but he was eager to make a statement that no opponent is safe, no matter where the fight occurs. On April 13, 2024, the wrestling powerhouse was set to lock horns with Cody Brundage, who was coming off a jaw-dropping slam knockout victory against Zachary Reese. Brundage initiated a brawl, which Nickal gladly accepted. He then tamed the unruly patient with a takedown, and started working him in the clinch. Once Bo got a hold, it was like getting stuck in cement. He clinched so much that one would assume he was a Dagestani. The mat became his domain, and Bo ruled it like a tyrant without giving Brundage space to breathe. The adversaries survived the onslaught, but entering into a second round against Bo Nickal could hardly be called salvation. As the round started, Nickal bulldozed his opponent to the mat like a demolition crew on overtime. Brundage blocked shots like his life depended on it, and in that moment, it probably did. Out of desperation, the foe laid his head on the chopping block, giving Nickal his back. After slightly adjusting, Bo wrapped his hands below Cody's chin and finished the masterclass by applying an airtight strangle. The American is now scheduled to face Paul Craig on November 16, 2024, at UFC 309. While Craig's guard has been a snake pit to many, Bo can be quite the mongoose. Paul's style has always been the same, pulling guard to showcase his deadly jiu-jitsu. But the thing is, Bo Nickal is not the kind of fighter you can take down easily. Bo is a strong wrestler who can stuff any takedown, and especially avoid being pulled into Craig's guard. Even if the Scottish fighter attempted to do that, he would only lose position and open himself up to punishment from Bo in the top position. In the striking department, Paul Craig is very slow and lacks power. That being said, it's safe to say that Bo Nickal has a clear advantage in striking exchanges. If Craig decides to go toe-to-toe with Nickal, he would almost certainly meet his doom on the feet. The only way Paul Craig could win this fight is if Bo is foolish enough to enter his guard, which is unlikely. Bo's fighting IQ is high, and he knows what not to do against someone like Craig. What he needs to do is keep the fight standing and pick Paul apart with bombs, like he did against Val Woodburn. And even if the fight goes to the ground, Bo Nickal is too strong for Paul. He would quickly reverse any position and finish the fight with heavy ground and pound shots. In conclusion, Paul Craig would need a miracle to win this fight. Bo Nickal, on the other hand, with a victory over Craig, would start his climb to the top, where he could potentially challenge the division's top contenders. While many see Khamzat Chimaev as the boogeyman of this division, few realize that Bo Nickal might be the only fighter who can stop Khamzat's wrestling and potentially hurt him on the feet. In other words, Bo Nickal is a nightmare matchup for Chimaev, and if their paths cross in the future, the Chechen Wolf better be ready. If Bo handles Paul Craig with ease, we can expect the UFC to give him 2 or 3 more fights to build him up for the big names in the division, making a clash with someone like Chimaev almost inevitable. Bo's superior wrestling, combined with his knockout power on the feet, is a nightmare for anyone in the top 10. Will Bo Nickal be the breakthrough fighter in 2025? Let's wait and see. And what about you, UFC fans? Do you see Bo Nickal as a future title contender? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more MMA content like this.